Well, good morning, folks. It's Richard the Fishing Machine here. Look here. Let's get into exactly what's going on right here, because this is another thing I've been wanting to show y'all about crappie. About what they do, how they behave in certain weather. Now, for the last 2 days, we've been having some awful bad cold weather. Right now, it's terrible cold. It's windy. The wind is gusting around these mountains, and it's just a terrible day to fish. But it's not. God made this for us to enjoy. So today is going to be just like any other day to me. The surface temperature right now is at 44 degrees, real cold. That's on top, 44 degrees. The water, well, it's extremely low, real low. You know, normally the old saying is when anytime the water is dropped, crappie will go deeper. All fish will. You know, that's not so. It is simply not so. You can find crappie, you can find bass, and other species up extremely shallow, right in the middle of the winter. This is something I know for a fact. I've researched it, and I'm not trying to go against anybody. I'm just telling y'all exactly what fish do sometimes when you can't find them or you're having a hard time catching them. Crappie, especially the smaller crappie, a lot of times the bigger crappie will do the same thing. We'll get in 1.5 to 2 feet of water right in the middle of the winter time. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to catch these fish. We're going to have fun. I don't care how cold and windy it gets. Whoa! Now, just like I always do when I'm fishing this way, when crappie are a little bit, I call them ticky, especially fishing on these flats. I'll let the wind work for me. I'll move that float just a little bit. You know, you have to cover water with it, because these fish are going to be scattered on these type of flats. But as far as the action, I'm letting those little waves and little ripples do that. There we go. There we go, folks. I believe this is a white crappie right here. Reckon he's gonna quit. Yeah, a little white crappie. They're getting a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger, but this is definitely, let's let him go. Ain't that a pretty fish? He's all tiger striped up. Back there, boy. All right, folks, let me show you what I'm using. I've used this rod a lot of times on this channel. As a matter of fact, when I first started this fishing channel, I used this rod. This is a Shakespeare Supreme. It's light action, and it's 5.5 feet long. Wimpy is everything. 2-pound test, high vis vicious, little bitty float right here. Y'all can see that, little bitty. And I have a piece of 12-2 copper wire at the bottom. That way when I make a cast in this wind, it won't flip around and knot up and all that kind of stuff. The weight is right here, and it's copper wire. Okay, and right here is the star of the show. This is a 1.75 slab tail bait with a 1/28 of an ounce jig head. And that's all there are to it. And I have it tied with a Palomar knot. I'm a loop knot man, but when it comes to 2-pound test line, I just don't trust a loop knot for strength. Yeah, because I know I'm going to catch some small crappie, but I might hook a big one out here. You never know. There he goes. Come on back here, boy. little crappie fought. That 2-pound test line, folks, is the deal. Limber rod. That's the way to get it done and still have fun. If that's all you can find, let's make another cast out there. There's a little school of them. If that's all you can find, well, just downgrade your tackle so you can have fun with them. Now, I'm barely moving that float. There's a crappie. That one feels a little bit better than what I've been catching. I know one thing, he shines in that clear water, folks. Look how clear that water is. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's getting a lot better. And he's small. To me, he's small. But that's a lot better fish right there. A lot better. Let's let him go right here. Pretty fish. Okay, go on back, boy. See that? If you can see that float, and I hope y'all can, it's just jumping around. Well, that slab tail jig is doing the same thing, and it's not doing the same thing every time. So that's what makes it look so natural to the fish. I mean, when that jig gets in front of a crappie, I guarantee y'all, folks, that float's gonna sink. There we go. I thorned him way too hard. That's a pretty good black crappie. I mean, I put it to him too much. They're a lot different color in this real clear water in the winter than what they are in the summer, or they just have a cleaner look, don't they, folks? Let's catch another one. Whoa! There's another one. Now that was a crappie, folks. Now he was up there real shallow. That's a foot of water. I believe it was a crappie. I could be wrong. Let's see. There we go. No, I'm not wrong. Look here. Now this is a foot of water. If y'all can see, can y'all see the bottom? Oh, we come off. Foot of water. What about that? When weather conditions like this happens, when I find them on flats, they're going to be small. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be small. But every once in a while, you can get lucky, and you have to get lucky, and catch big fish up here in 1.5 to 2 feet of water. And that's what we're fishing right now. Real shallow. And I have my float, jig under my float, adjusted to around 20 inches. So that jig is barely off the bottom. Let's see if there's another one right here. Yeah, there's another crappie. When they're that little like that, folks, I don't call them crappie. I call them crappie. It's pretty though. Let's let him go. Going back. They seem to be right in between them two limbs right there. About 2 or 3 feet deep. About 2 feet probably. I'm gonna let it fall about 2 feet deep. And then catch him like that. Well, that was so easy. It's all about the wind of crappie fishing. That's one reason why I hadn't been doing a whole lot of it. As light as I fish, as far as jigs, lightweight jigs, it's very difficult to crappie fish when it's been windy every day. But let's let him go. fishing with these lightweight jigs like this is just, it's very finesseful. This is a mud bottom, by the way. It's a mud flat. And mud flats are much warmer when the fish get sort of shocked, and that's what's happening right here. That was some cold weather we had that come through, and it shocked them. So these mud flats is evidently draws fish to them because it's a little bit warmer, because the mud, it's not sand, it's real dark mud, warms up quicker when the sun's penetrating the water. That's my theory. It warms it up, and a few shad will come up on these flats too. Shad and small bluegill, little bitty bluegill, stuff like that these crappie can feed on, because they're in here to feed. They have to feed. Well, folks, we're going to end it there. The big boys didn't want to come out and play today, but caught a lot of fish. I enjoyed God's great outdoors He created for us, and He loves each and every one of us. Y'all keep your left foot going in front of your right, or your right one going in front of your left. I want to thank y'all very much for all the great comments. God bless each and every one of y'all. Hey, oh my goodness. And remember, go fishing when you can, because it's good.